This is a time and place for the public to address the City Council, Community Development Agency, and the Housing Authority on any and all matters within the City of Santa Ana's jurisdiction. Members of the public may address the Council on any item on the agenda or within the jurisdiction of the City Council. If you wish to address the Council, please fill out one of the speaker forms, put it in color, located on the speaker's podium, and submit to the City Clerk. I'm going to go ahead and consolidate both the agenda items and any other items within the city's jurisdiction for public comment at this time, which means we're not going to have public comment at the end of the meeting. I see Mr. Garn approaching with some paperwork. Anybody else? Going once, going twice. The only items we will hear afterwards will be those in yellow, which have to do with the public hearing. As he makes his way up here, if I could just remind the public, please direct all testimony to the City Council as a whole, not to individual council members. Please observe all time limits for speaking. When speaking on agenda items, please limit your comments to those. When speaking on non-agenda items, please limit your comments to those subject to the city's jurisdiction. Use of profane language, racial epithets, or libelous or slanderous comments or other statements or activities that disturb the decorum of the meeting is prohibited. And when your time to speak has expired and I direct you to terminate your statements, we are able to turn off the podium microphone or interrupt any video or audio broadcast. Next, we have Alberta Christie, one of our former council members.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and City Council members. I'm speaking on 25E, Centennial Park. When we, in 2002, were giving up what Councilmember Sarmiento say, precious park land, 20 acres over there, we worked on an agreement, and one of which, in that agreement, we had input from our neighborhood leaders, environmentalists, and also with the school district. School district drew up the plans for Centennial Park, in which the space where you're even putting a temporary fence on was open space. And they agreed with that, no fence of any kind, to leave that as open space. Our city attorney and our city manager guaranteed that that agreement that was signed, and Councilmember Tinajero, you signed that agreement, no fences whatsoever.
Thank you, Ms. Christie. Next, we have Pan McGuigan, also a former council member and Mayor Pro Tem.
Good evening, Madam Pro Tem and council members. I too am here to speak on 25E. I remember the days that the mayor was on the council at the time. I don't think any of the rest of you were there. Mr. Tinajero was on the school district board of trustees, and we came up, and I'm reminded, Alberta Christie mentioned about these conditions. These are the list of conditions that both the city and the school district agreed to.
And next we have Mr. Thomas Gordon.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. The sign I was holding said parks, parks, and more parks, basically. I'm here speaking on item 25E, the fence. There's a thing on here that says there was a joint district city policy meeting of October 21st, 2009 with Councilmember Martinez, Sarmiento, and Tinajero attending. 2 days prior to that.
Mr. Gordon, if I could just remind you as well, do not address any of the council members.
I'm not addressing, I'm reading off the agenda.
Great, I'll just keep that in mind, please.
Thank you, I'm reading off the agenda.
Next we have Ms. Moreno, Lupe Moreno.
My name is Lupe Moreno. I came to tell the City Council that you owe the citizens of Santa Ana and this great nation an apology. That you even thinking of celebrating Mexican Independence Day on September 11th is beyond using bad judgment. Claudia Alvarez, you are the one in charge of the committee putting on this event. You are
Ms.
the
Moreno,
one that
let me
sent out
remind
the
you-
letters.
Ms. Moreno, let me remind you of what I just read in the back of your
Yes.
green form. Do not address any particular council
Okay.
member with your comments.
Please, I won't do that again, but don't use it up against my seconds. Everyone knows it was you, Claudia, idea
Ms.
to
Moreno,
hold.
that's your second warning. If
I'm
you
sorry,
continue to
okay.
do that, I'm gonna have you stop speaking.
Okay. It was Mrs. Alvarez's idea
Ms.
to hold
Moreno,
the
you are
Mexican
done.
event
Ms.
on
Moreno,
September 11th.
Please stop speaking. We're gonna go next to Mr. Von Becht. And just
Can
to,
I use your name?
to clarify, the festivities have been changed to a different weekend. You're obviously not respecting the decorum of this council meeting. I've told you 3 times to stop playing around, if you will, with the rules. If you're willing to do that, then go ahead and finish your comments. Otherwise,
I would
not
like
just
to
for
finish my
myself, but
comments,
any
and
of
I
my
will not
colleagues
use your name again.
anybody's
Anybody's
names
name.
here. Thank you, Ms. Moreno.
Okay. But the silence coming from the city council once it was brought to the attention of the citizens were not happy with their decision has been deafening. Now I find that you're throwing other people under the bus. You are trying to tell us it was their ideas to hold the event on September 11th. The newspapers say it was the promoters that changed the date from the 18th so they would not have to compete with Los Angeles. Did none of you have the good sense to stand up and say the date needed to be changed? Did no one have the sense of decency to say that that date was no good? Is that how you lead? I've been told there is no money for Mother's Day. There is no money to celebrate the 4th of July. There is no money to celebrate children's Christmas. But yet, the city of Santa Ana has money to help celebrate the birth of a foreign nation. Shame on you. I feel we need full disclosure of every penny being spent on the Mexico's birthday. I love that we are a country, a republic. That means we choose the people to represent us. But the founding fathers made it very clear that we needed to elect ethical and moral people to lead us. I am here to tell you that your neighbors have found you lacking.
Ms.
I
Moreno,
remember.
your time is up. You see the red light
Thank you
in
for
front
your
of you.
time. I will be back with
Thank
the
you so
same
much.
speech.
We'll look forward to it. Next, we have George Garcia.
Mayor Pro Tem, council members, Police Chief Walters, Dave Ream, City Manager, and honored guest. Since you're consolidating all the comments and public comments and into 3 minutes, it's difficult for me because I have other questions about contract awarded for traffic signals. You got 3 here, 4 here. That's what 3 and 4 is 6. No, 5. Okay. Anyhow, and save the money.
Mr. Garcia, you have a red light. However, I know you have a lot of things on
A
your
lot of
list.
issues. I mean,
Because we're not going to be here all
I've
night,
been
and there's
putting
a lot
in,
of people that want to speak.
I should have 3 minutes per
Do me this
green.
favor, if you don't mind, I have your information here. I'm going to go ahead and give it to the city manager. If
Please.
you don't mind, we'll go ahead and address each of your issues.
Will Hayes or
during that.
Dave Ream, I mean,
He'll refer next. We have Mr. Steve McGuigan.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I too have a potpourri of items I'd like to address you on, but I'll try and keep it as on point as possible. I'll go ahead and waive the rest of my time for the other items and come back to speak to you at a later date. Just remind you that you need to have April 17th on your calendar for the grand opening of the Tierra de las Pampas at the zoo. Under public comments, I could tell you a lot more about that, and I'm happy to give you any more information. But please do come out, bring your families, and help us celebrate the opening of the newest exhibit and the giant anteater breeding program at the Santa Ana Zoo. Thank you.